Hello, Tex. Your mic is on.
Hey, sorry. Okay. I forget the size of the meeting. It does that. So thanks everyone for being on time. Going to give it just a few more minutes while everyone comes in, but the plan is still to get started on the agenda as it is a little deep. I think some topics are going to require some discussion here. So, okay. And actually, I did want to do it this way. Let's see. Perfect. See who we have, who we don't. 1, 2, 3. And okay. So again, at half of our reduced structure, we won't necessarily have any court decision making, so we can forward that to Discord or next meeting. But let's go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure I get this all in place. Good deal. Okay. So welcome to the Open Source Committee meeting. Today is Thursday, March the 12th. Can everybody see the agenda?
This is Georg. I'm currently in the car, so no, I cannot see it, but please proceed.
To that. Okay. All right, starting off with the developer advocates check-in here. I will pass this off to the developer advocates, but before I do, I will just mention one of the first things we'll talk about from my trip to London last week, of course, why we've kind of shuffled our cadence a bit. I did participate in a workshop with IO. IO still maintains or manages a lot of the technical teams developing on Core Cardano, and thereby the participants of the technical working groups. What we've found or discovered is potentially a new way forward. There may be some future changes in Intersect's budget proposal to further support this, but for now, we will look to our developer advocates, specifically those that may participate in the Maintainer Retainer program, to kind of spearhead facilitating the technical working groups to have a first part of the session be for onboarding contributors, general things to help them better understand the project, and then the latter half for being updates of what's actually going on in the project. And I will continue to coordinate with the actual technical teams so that basically we will have a couple of sessions throughout the month, but it'll be different teams, and it'll only be 1 week of each month for each team, so there's not a ton of pressure on them. That's a general format. We can dive into that a little bit deeper, but that's just kind of like a high-level overview. And I've already spoken with the developer advocates about this as well. But I will pass this off to any of them. I do see a couple of them here for updates. And we'll try to keep this quick, maybe 1 to 2 minutes each.
Yes. Hi, guys. So yeah, we have been holding a few. So there's a partnership that HI had proposed the previous quarter. The partnership was supposed to be between Intersect and the Blockchain Center Nairobi. So we have had one of our sessions that was one of the deliverables we were looking to achieve as in that partnership, and one was to get more people to contribute to the open source repositories. So a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, we had our first session where we found or we brought together a couple of developers, and we held like a hackathon sort of thing. But instead of people competing to make an app, I would have people go over issues in the Intersect repositories that they can tackle. And we have had more than 5 PRs that we're currently reviewing. So we made sure that we were the ones to first review whatever they have done, the PRs that they've made to those issues before we finally submit them to the actual maintainers. So that is still ongoing. That's one of the efforts that I had come up with to maybe entice more contributions toward the open source repository. So that's one thing I would want to highlight, and I think someone else can talk about something else, maybe Dan.
Yes, thank you, Emmanuel, for this update. I would like just to add, we are also working, we are working on partnership between Blaze SDK with Yesi Store to allow them to update their documentation with update use cases of Blaze SDK in the Yesi Store. So that's one update. And again, we also we are preparing to run Spotlight with few projects like Genius Health, and I think Genius Health. This will happen next week, and I think we also have one Spotlight this week. So yeah, that's it, I think. And we are almost at the end of this Q2. So we are also submitting our report. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. And for the speed of the agenda, I will just jump to this last one here. So the developer advocates, as mentioned, they're coming to the end of their second quarter, which is Q1. So please review the dashboard. Again, that's Project 71 under Open Source Office in the Intersect GitHub. There are probably, I think in the first one we had 39 tasks. So there's right around 40. I would like to see, if possible, 2 reviews from Open Source Committee per milestone, if that's possible. So hopefully that's not too much work for you all to just pop in there and let me know whether or not you approve of what's been submitted. Again, specifically, this is whatever has been published in the OSC TSC review column that we're looking over at this point. Okay. All right, we'll keep it moving. So introduction for Crypto EQ. So Crypto EQ is a research firm. They're actually here local for me in Texas, but they are a research-based reporting company specifically for blockchain. I've been speaking with them actually since October of last year regarding doing some reports on our data metrics. So there's some back-end stuff to figure out about how exactly that's all going to be or stay published through the end of the year. I'll continue to keep that as an OSA priority, if you will. But I wanted you guys to be able to get an introduction and kind of a feel for what they have to offer. There's also another benefit as listed here to give Intersect and potentially OSC additional awareness at the different events that are hosted by and in conjunction with Crypto EQ. But to pass this on to the better speaker, I do have Spencer, and he's from Crypto EQ. So Spencer, come on up and say hello to the committee.
GM, wherever you are in the world. My name is Spencer Randall. I met Tex last year at the North American Blockchain Summit. I'm the lead co-founder of Crypto EQ. This is our third market cycle as a research firm in digital assets. We founded our company in 2018 and we launched our first product in 2020. I met Tex at the summit and we've been talking ever since. And he's about 2 hours from me in Texas. So one of the nice things about partnering with us is Tex and I could actually meet face to face and catch up quarterly if we needed to, because we're so close right here in Texas. Tex, how long do I have? Aiming for 5 minutes?
About 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go ahead and move right into how we can help. As a firm, over the market cycles, we've maintained coverage of about 95% of the industry by market cap. So we tend to focus on larger blockchains and ecosystems that are more established, while we do have some newer products that focus on emerging smaller projects. But for the most part, our brand is positioned and known as the morning star of crypto. I think it's really helpful to see what types of taglines others bestow upon your brand. I think those are the most meaningful. And so that is how the market sees us fitting into this landscape, is a fundamental source and a technical source of the most important metrics and information on the largest projects that make our industry go round. And One of those projects is Cardano. We've been covering Cardano for multiple market cycles, and we have a core report that we maintain on cryptoeq.io about Cardano. If you want to download the full version, that is called the core report, and you can find that at cryptoeq.io today. Now, specifically how we can help. The way to think of us in working with Intersect is Intersect's fractional deep research powerhouse. So where you may not have a full-time analyst, or you may not have full-time researchers specifically for various initiatives, you can tap into our team that has multiple market cycles of experience doing exactly that. We can also come in and offer support at rates that our competitors can't, because we don't have the venture-backed bloat that comes with most of the research firms in the space. We are bootstrapped. We are backed by crypto native angels. We provided our own capital to stand this up. So we don't have that kind of bloat on our table of a venture-backed research firm that often inflates the price points that you see across the industry. Tex and I have already talked a bit on numbers, and I can tell that we can come in and undercut what was previously serving y'all while exceeding the quality that you've seen previously as well. The three specific areas of scope we talked about, the first I think was the easiest to wrap our head around, event partnership. So we run a monthly event series right here in Houston. If you're not that familiar with Houston, it's the 4th largest metropolitan area in the United States. There's 8 million people in the greater Houston area, and we organize the largest monthly event for crypto and Bitcoin in the whole city, and we've been doing it for years. We have a really loyal base. Our attendees tend to be a third developers, full-time developers actively building crypto native and non-crypto software. And so we have a very technical audience that I think would lend itself well to growing the Intersect brand and bringing on new developers from our market. The partnership tiers are tier 1 and tier 2. Tex and I have talked a bit about that. So we have flexibility in the level of partnership and spend. But the big idea is we can help onboard more developers for the Intersect ecosystem and more advocates for the Intersect ecosystem by positioning your brand front and center at a monthly meetup in the 4th largest metropolitan area in the US. The second area where I think we can jump in and help immediately is the data and metrics monthly report that's generated. As I understand it, the Intersect team will be taking what was previously provided and bringing it in-house. And that will cover the continuous generation of the data and metrics. But what I think would really help, having seen one of the old reports as a sample, is taking the data and then being a filter as a team of analysts to turn it into more of an executive summary that gets you the most important pieces of that monthly data and metrics piece right there at the top of your inbox. So our vision for that piece of scope would be to publish a monthly article on cryptoeq.io that would be hosted in perpetuity, that you could then distribute as a external facing newsletter and an internal focus piece to all of Intersect. When it goes external to our platform, it also benefits from all of the promotion of our platform on social, email, any digital marketing channel we touch. So our vision for that piece of scope would be to take the existing data and metrics piece and turn it into a monthly article that could be used for external purposes as well, to help raise awareness for what Intersect is doing and the output and the KPIs that you guys are hitting. And then the last piece, and this would be the lowest frequency, this is probably more of a biannual cadence, as is needed by Intersect. This would be a deep research institutional report, so more the style of what you see published at a Masari, for example. But rather than focusing on all of Cardano, this would be specific to Intersect, and it'd be on an as-needed basis. We call these bespoke reports. Again, it's institutional grade research, often ranging from 50 to 60 pages, and they're authored by our analysts. We have a co-founder on every single piece, so we don't publish without a co-founder, an original team member of CryptoEQ having eyes on it. The scope of work there could bend to what would most impact and benefit Intersect at the time. So we could sort that out later. But think about a Masari State of Crypto, State of Cardano type of piece that comes out quarterly, but rather scope shaped to exactly what Intersect would like to focus on. And so that's one of the differences in working with us, is the scope is more of a conversation. It's less of a templated report that you would see at our competitors, and more of a bespoke partnership on the report where we're shaping the scope together, and then again, peer review throughout the whole process. So I'll pause there, and Tex, I don't know if there's any time for questions, or if you'd like to go there, if you just wanted me to more so highlight everything very quickly.
I definitely appreciate the highlight. If there are any questions off the bat, maybe we can take one or two, but I know this will be further discussion. This is primarily just a notice for a need, as I'm definitively down to one person, being myself. There's no way I'd be able to keep up with the reporting, and it's something that I do think is important for us to get back out there. So yeah. I don't see any major hands here at the time, but if you have something, speak now.
Yeah, just one closing note.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So what promotional channels do you have for the report once it's completed? Like, does it just go to Intersect? Is that the plan, or does it go to your community of people?
That would depend. It's a good question, John. That would depend on how we structure the engagement. So if we structure it as what as happened previously is internal, well, then we would hand it off exclusively at Intersect. Now, if you'd rather go the article route, where we would publish what was internal as external facing, then it would be public on cryptoeq.io, so it would be live on our web app for any of our users to view and digest. It would go out via email distribution to our entire base. It would go out on all of our social channels. It really depends on how you guys would like to work with us. Both options and paths are available. It could stay internal and exclusive as like an internal newsletter, or it could go completely public as a monthly article. We'd be happy to publish this type of content up to a monthly frequency. So if you'd like to activate our entire base and community digitally, then that option is available.
Thanks.
Great question, John. All right, we will keep it moving because we do have a little bit of a packed agenda here.
All right, Tex, I'm going to go up and I'm going to listen in for the rest of the meeting.
Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you.
All right, so committee elections are coming, as you guys may remember. We talked about this a little bit previously here. It's been asked by the end of next week that we actually get a schedule down. Now we're working on the different spaces that we'll have available as far as for the X space and when the sessions will be run in the virtual hub. But there is still an ask if there's an agreed preferential time for the committee members to be able to attend. Albeit there's 6 of us, if we can still get 4 or 5 at one and or both sessions, that would be important here. There is an ask if you're willing to share as a short testimonial about why you ran for the open source committee, what surprised you, what you've learned so far. Again, the target audience here is members of Intersect who are interested in applying for the open source committee. I can give it a moment here in case anybody has a suggested date or time. Again, this would be somewhere between the 30th of March and the 17th of April, which I believe is the application phase. And you guys can see some other stuff about the formats here. Any questions or suggested times?
This is Georg. Last year we held a series of events and filled up the calendar to make it really easy for candidates to connect with us as committee members. And in the sessions that I was in, we only had one person that I had invited. So I don't think doing anything above and beyond this is helpful. At least it wasn't in the past. I do think it is good to connect with candidates and be available. I'm hesitant on organizing something as just the committee. If Intersect is doing something, I'm happy to join if it fits in my schedule. And that's my experience.
Correct. So that's a great clarification there, Georg. This is Intersect sponsored sessions here. So Intersect will make the space available for each of the committees, providing they can attend the available times. So both the X-Space and the virtual hub session, again, would both be facilitated by Intersect, but they have asked for committees to, if possible, book a certain time to show up at both, again, an X-Space, let's say on one day, and a virtual hub session like we had for the AMM on another day. So.
But they want us to come up with the date and time. It's not that they have a set schedule and we would join them.
Admittedly, the set schedule is a little bit behind. I'm going to try to figure that out in the next 24, 48 hours with some other colleagues. But yeah, if there is a suggested time that's something that we can prioritize for the open source committee, if there is a suggestion. So.
Okay, then I'll just suggest Tuesday, the 31st at 8:30 Central Time.
Okay, I think that's going to equate to 1:30 UTC.
Very possible.
All right. Keep things moving. I will re-socialize that in the Discord channel for consensual agreement there. But for now, we will move on. If you guys have any questions about this more specifically, please let me know. Okay. Next here is a review of the budget. So this is kind of my space to share with you guys a little bit more about what I learned in going to London and kind of some of the suggested changes, if you will. As everyone might know, we are fully 6 months or more into the budget cycle where we've had some funding available to us. Programs that are working really, really well. We have the Developer Advocate Program, a program that took a little bit of time to kind of get off the ground as the Maintainer Retainer program, but we are fueling into the pilot with Andamio as it stands right now. And then the other one to kind of pick a top three is the Tooling Sustainability Program that we want to put some more focus to. There has been a suggestion for the Tooling Sustainability Program, at least for right now, to be positioned to help projects prepare for the upcoming Dijkstra hard fork. Admittedly, that's not the current hard fork, but it would be the next one, which is a major upgrade in inter-era hard fork, if you will. So moving from the current, well, from the I forget if it was, I think it was Plomin hard fork, where we moved into the new era and got the Constitution published. Dijkstra would be the next era that would be going into. And forgive me, I'm forgetting the name of the current era. But yeah, any reviewer suggestions on that in particular? As far as so there is a suggestion to move some programs, and so Intersect is making a plan to potentially request the Bug Bounty Program and the Security Management Program under the Intersect budget. So that means that Intersect will be requesting those funds and responsible for the milestones there, but the OSC would still have some different spans of management. As far as giving, so there's a keep, move, give, end strategy that was proposed to me here. The give category would be the accelerated program, which we're going to talk about next. I've got a specific item for that, so I'm going to just put a hold there for the moment. And then as far as the end category, right now an end is project support services, code for us, and I believe there's another one. Let me see if I can pull it quickly here. Let's see.
The mentorship? The summer internship?
Yes, so I'm sorry, Summer of Code. So they want to finalize the closure of that one. So getting that back to the treasury. As far as anything that is currently funded, we'll still have some opportunities to extend or utilize that funding as appropriate. And then the one that's not mentioned here is the events or strategic presence. So we're going to keep working on that, and that would still be something in the keep column, just not in the top 3 of priorities there. Christian, I do see your hand. I'm going to move to Accelerator here in a moment, if that's okay.
Are you showing something? Because I don't see this, what you're talking about. I only see the ClickUp.
I'm not showing anything, unfortunately. I don't have a committee-facing document as of yet. I just got up-to-date information that this is all still proposed. Obviously, you all as a committee would need to agree on the direction. I can appreciate it's probably hard to think about your potential decision without seeing it, and so I'll work on a committee view of the suggestion here as quickly as possible. I apologize I didn't have it ahead of time. Any questions that I can clarify? I know I just did that. You know, it's by voice, so some of that might be hard to remember, but
Yeah, certainly we need an additional session to go deep into the details of this new setting of the programs.
okay. And I believe we do have a session set up for next week on Friday, so we can definitely download it at that time. And I'll make sure that I have quite a bit more prepared for us to hopefully make a better decision.
I saw Christian had put up a hand.
Yes, so we're moving to that next tier. So this is regarding the accelerator program. Specific to this, there was a suggestion to move, or rather give this program to get some additional support to run it. I can still, of course, provide as much of a hand as I can keep on it. Mind you, keeping up with all the other admin tasks of our other programs that are actively running. But I did want to bring in the commercialization working group, or rather the 2 that have been working with that the most over the last couple of months, to get some insight from them. And hopefully, although we may be at just about half a committee, hopefully between those 2 participants and whoever's here, we can kind of get an agreed direction that I can take back to Intersect, either for, with, or against the proposal here. One suggestion, I kind of reviewed this briefly, was transitioning into an after town hall and office hour setup, but that seems to not align, which is perfectly okay. I just need to understand what exactly we want the direction to be for the accelerator program. I do have another meeting with Storm tomorrow, so I would love to give them an update. But there was an ask or a thought to utilize the Intersect membership team and work with some enterprise members to give them some additional benefit and socialization. As well, some of them may be best prepared to help us out with certain aspects, or rather tracks, of the accelerator program. But Christian, you had your hand up, so I'll give this to you first. John, I know you may have some thoughts, and then over to committee members. Hi, Chris. I see you're off mute, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm driving. I have double buttons. Can I speak just shortly? I have to drop off. I'm sorry.
Yes, please go ahead.
So just to give you a little background, the accelerator program was the idea that we pull something that's not Intersect labeled, and that's how it went with the proposal. Not an Intersect program, but OSC/community funded. Because of the ADA drop, and our idea was to run a pilot, and with the current amount of ADA, we cannot run a pilot because simply not possible. Tex showed me proposal that gives more budget. It's essentially a different thing. It's no longer accelerator. It's something different. My opinion is good. It's business oriented. It's not infrastructure oriented. And that would be my 2 cents on it.
So based on the drop in ADA value, you're saying you would potentially approve of that direction?
Well, of course, because the proposal has much more money, because I guess Intersect is pulling the money from its own bucket. There's more money now in that program. That's what we initially got from the Treasury, and the concept is completely different. So yeah, it's no longer the same thing. I'm fine that the milestone is reused for something else, but we just need to communicate it like that.
Okay. To clarify,
we're
there
transforming.
wouldn't be any additional funding included there. It's just a different breakout of how the ADA would be spent. So it's 100K
I saw the
ADA.
number. We had less ADA, not 100K, from what I remember.
Well, it's
Kind of
100K ADA related to 50,000 USD at the 50-cent value.
Yeah, but ADA is not 50 cents.
Right.
So that's not 50K, that's 25K. That's I don't know. We had several ideas. Something even when Catalyst was running, that we have joint events for and getting intros into with investors, collaborating with Fractal. But this is now what 100K ADA. That's 25K USD. If this works for the community for the committee, I'm fine.
John, before we hear from the committee, did you have any thoughts or input?
Yeah,
Guys, I have to drop. But John, please continue. Thank you.
Thanks, Christian.
yeah. I was going to say much the same thing. So I echo what Christian was saying, that it's a different proposal. But life throws you different changes all the time, and you just have to adjust. So it's something where, if the committee sees this new proposal as being useful, it's a new environment, so we need to adjust. But, that's life in a way.
Okay. Appreciate that insight there. So now that we've heard from, again, the commercialization working group on this instance here, I'll do a quick highlight. Essentially, the suggestion was to establish an after town hall session. This would involve 6 of Intersect's enterprise members to facilitate, give an overview of their offerings. And then there's an ask for each of those enterprise members to provide additional office hours to support. Beyond the office hours, it would be individual engagements with each one. But essentially what this does is this would provide roughly 16,000 ADA to each enterprise member here to provide this track focus type session based on what they can offer. Garrick.
I would like to have clarity. What is the affiliation of Christian and John?
So Christian and John are part of the commercialization working group that was spearheading the accelerator program.
And you're not with Intersect.
No, Christian is with Modus Create and Twig, and then John is with Wolfram Alpha.
Okay. And in this new accelerator program, John, you would still be involved in that?
I believe there's a role for people to mentor, and I don't know if there's a mentor support component to it. The previous proposal did. I think it was something like maybe 500 ADA or something very small. So the structure of this one, again, I think it goes to the folks who are actually doing the work. Christian and I were doing things just to help ADA community, Cardano community, not as though we were supported in the proposal itself, other than as a mentor, which is, a more of a minor role. So I don't know that's included in this, but that's kind of the structure of the previous one. Does that kind of answer your question? Sorry, I don't have as much information on this one, other than what is here directly, because it's a different proposal.
Yeah, what I wanted to clarify, and I think you did, is your role and involvement, why we're hearing from you and what your role is going forward. And you've answered that you come in with experience, you've done something relevant already through your commercialization working group. And so you're bringing in your expertise to help us decide as a committee. That's how I understand it right now.
Yeah. So just some background and so I'm going to try to go really quick because I can talk forever on things. But in that commercialization group, we talked about accelerators and what to do, and we debated a lot. And part of it was, for me, experience at Wolfram Research, but then also that I've been a mentor for Techstars for quite some time with their different programs, like Filecoin had an accelerator, and Iowa did an accelerator, Boston and crypto, etc. So I had a lot of experience working within Techstars as both in general in their program and then as a lead mentor in their program. So really I saw the value of accelerators as creating a mentor community that then helps the individual members of the different cohorts kind of put together everything that they need to kind of go out into the world. So that was kind of what I was bringing directly to how do we decide how to create an accelerator. And one of the things I really pushed for when it comes to Cardano was that we need to create our own mentor community and our own accelerator community and not rely on external services, regardless of those external services, because you have to evaluate them kind of in a certain way. And a lot of what I saw as the value of those external services, like a Techstars, for instance, is that they have an entire array of mentors and services and everything else. And it's like, can you really, if you're trying to create a community, and we have a community, can you really outsource that sort of thing? So that was what we're trying to do with that kind of proposal. But again, what I was saying earlier is it's a new day, it's different. How do you adjust to that? And so if people feel like this is going to get done, then we should do it, because nothing is going to be perfect. And when you're adapting to a new environment, yes, you need to wait and try to figure things out. But at the same time, it's like there are constraints and pressures. So we go forward and do stuff,
Yeah.
So that's a longer answer. Hopefully that kind of answers more of your question.
Yeah, thank you, John. But the reason why I asked is, one, because I wanted to know, and then two, because we have new committee members every 6 months. So some of that historic past experience and how things have evolved gets lost unless we talk about it and we refresh our memory. So thank you for that longer answer.
Yeah. So again, the concise answer is we have to build our own community to help accelerate new startups that start within Cardano. It cannot, we cannot depend on outsourcing that.
Yeah. And so based on your experience, you think this new proposal achieves that?
I can't say it achieves it because it's not something that we designed and debated and thought about. But again, when there are new, there's a new day, the price of ADA is different, things are different, we need to accelerate. So we have to think about it, look at it, but I think we should go forward. That's my view. People like it, they look at it, seems reasonable, let's go forward.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So to clarify, just for the formal record, although we do not have a full committee body, we've got a number of observers, those being developer advocates familiar with the program. We have participants from the commercialization working group who have, in theory, signed off, right? Or not in theory, directly. Do we feel comfortable in exploring this direction to make use of the funds?
I vote yes.
Same here. Sorry.
Rashma, Bernard?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I'm happy with it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we will get that moving forward. And if you would like to specifically work with myself or again, we will involve the membership team and John, I'll make sure that you're in the loop here as well. We'll get, maybe we'll get a separate session or we'll just come back at a high level next week with some final clarification. Okay. Back to the agenda here. When we come back to this one, I'm going to go next to the tooling working group. So the tooling working group in this case, it basically stopped having attendees. And although we did have a committee member that was leading that effort, that's kind of diminished here in the new year. At the end of the day, the decision making does still come back to the OSC. So the question would be is, should we still try to, reinvent or recreate the tooling working group, or do we just leave it to OSC to conduct the reviews, adjust applications, and work on, again, a potential adjusted direction for funding?
This is Georg. My experience in other open source community is working groups get spun up when there's work to do and members willing to do it. And when either the work is done or the members disappear, then we bind down working groups. And I'm fine, flexible to do that same here. If there is work that needs to be done, but we don't have people in the working group, then there's no value in having the working group. So if there is work and as a committee we need to address it, then we'll have to take that on. But there's no value in keeping the working group officially alive if really there's no one doing anything in it.
Any disagreements? Okay, moving on. The next one I have on here is program application rework. So, and I know we're kind of getting to a lot of sessions here, and I don't want to bury anybody in this, so we'll try to do this async if we can. But if anybody is willing to spend a little bit of time going over the different applications that we have for the programs, more specifically, we'll want to focus on the ones that we're continuing. So, maintainer retainer application, the tooling sustainability program. Basically, this actually spurs from the tooling applications that we've received thus far. What I've noticed as I did a detailed review and had an overlook of Sebastian's review is that we were basically leaving it to ourselves as the OSC to make a decision on whether or not the tool is accepted, adopted, or widely used in the community. There's not a specific question on the application that asks that or asks for proof of again, use and adoption. So it's looking at things of that nature, either adding or removing questions or just changing the wording. And so it's something I wanted to get everyone kind of thinking about. And if it's something you look at in your own time, just drop me a message. I'm happy to make those changes. Or again, we can chat about that in the Discord or get maybe a short call going if everyone can make the time. Any thoughts or comments on this, ask or work that is essentially coming up?
In my opinion, it's not only about usability, it's about in the near future at least, if the tooling will be used in the future for a good number of other projects, right? So I think the OSC we need more feedback from many other fronts or committees in the ecosystem to get to the conclusion that maybe this tooling could be useful in the future for the ecosystem to support to provide enough support, right? Yeah. That's my opinion.
So I can definitely socialize. Let's say once we have our OSC review finalized, I can socialize that with TSC to have another kind of sign off agreement or additional feedback. Is there a suggestion for other areas of the community that we should loop in to get that better understanding?
This is Georg. I don't know about who else needs to be involved. I agree that it's a valuable data point to look at, and I just reviewing the proposal, I don't have the time to go out and do my own research.
Okay. I will leave this one as please think about this. Otherwise, I will kind of put up some suggestions at some point, hopefully soon, and just see if we have the general approval to adjust the application. That's my commitment as OSO to keep things moving forward. But again, if you have some things to add, please let me know, as we do prefer as much committee and community input as possible. That being said, I know we have a few community members on the call. If you're here, if you've looked at the tooling application or other applications before, please feel free to send that feedback to open-source-committee at Intersect MBO or simply OSO at Intersect MBO. You can also reach me via DM, and I'm quite all over the Discord, I would say. I don't even really mind if you shout us out on X. I'll take the feedback there as well. So if you're in the community and you have some additional time and you'd like to take a look at those applications, let us know based on the terms of the program if you feel they fit. But I will move on. So the next one kind of co-related here is the tooling application review. So again, there are a few active applications as of right now. I do take Georg's comment quite realistically here, right? I'm not necessarily expecting you all to devote tons of time or have the free time to do massive research or explanations, but just based off of the content of what was in each application, if you guys could leave your thoughts or address what's been put together by Sebastian here and saying, yes, we have a consensus on that, or we need to change or add something. If you can address that, hopefully by next session, which is next week, that would be great, just so that we have that done. And if you guys desire for me to share that with TSC, we can actually get that over to them. The TSC session is on Wednesday, so if that happens, if you guys get your reviews done quicker, that'd be beneficial as well. Okay. Looks like we're doing quite a bit better on time, so I'm going to move to the next one here, which is the OSC meeting cadence. Again, we covered the milestones in the above section there. If I look back to the Discord channel, I actually got 4 thumbs up. So I have it from Jordan, Sebastian, Georg, and Bernard that if we were to move our OSC meeting cadence to Tuesdays at 4 p.m. UTC, that would be applicable. That would be good. I think I had pretty much the same people here. I think the only one not here are, let me double check that. Reshma, I don't have it from you, and then I can confirm with Uday separately there. Reshma, do you have any problems if this were to move to Tuesdays at 4 p.m. UTC?
Tuesdays is not a problem, but let me check the time. It's 4, right?
4
4
UTC.
So here.
Is that 9:30 or 10:30 for you?
Yeah, it must be 9:30. That's not a by 9:30, right? Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30 the meeting will be there, right? For 1 hour.
Correct.
That's what you meant. Actually, it is 9:30 to 10:30 is not a comfortable time for me. Can you do that at least 9 to 10?
Let's see here. Anybody opposed to moving that 30 minutes earlier? So for the rest of us, that would be 3:30 to 4:30 UTC.
Is all the committee members are comfortable with that, we can do that.
From a side, I can try because I have if 16 UTC is good to me because I have that block free. Maybe I could have some problem 30 minutes before, but I can try. I'm not not opposed to that, but maybe.
Something I've also done in the past is set up a session to run for 90 minutes. So that way we have coverage for at least an hour in the middle. And for those early, those late, we can still attend and cover things that were missed. I understand that's quite the big blocker there, but would anybody be opposed to a 90-minute cadence in this regard?
Yes, I am opposed to such a long meeting. I'm fine having it 30 minutes earlier. I'm also okay. It's not ideal if some committee members can only join for half the session, at least for voting on things. It's not ideal for discussion though.
So what if we were to stay, the current time is 1 p.m. UTC. What if we were to stay at 1 p.m. UTC, but move to Tuesdays? Actually, that would conflict with membership. So that's probably not a good thing. I don't know. I'm open to another time, but the easiest one actually did look to be that 4 p.m. UTC. So maybe we could do that as the regular cadence, but we could extend 30 minutes early, every little bit if we need to for discussion. Or we just go with 4 p.m. UTC and then there's new members coming in, so that might kind of shake things up anyway. We can also wait to change this until the election occurs as well. So that's many options.
What problem are we trying to solve by moving it from Thursday to Tuesday?
So right now, this does conflict with the civics committee meeting. So just as being a good secretary, it'd be a good thing to look at transitioning ours. The civics committee already moved, admittedly, previously. They had some different membership post the October election. So in theory, they did kind of crowd our current time, which doesn't mean that we should be forced to change, but we have an option to change. And I think if we were to meet earlier in the week, we typically have more conversations and discussions that would benefit from us having a later session. So if we were to meet on Tuesdays, we'd still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do some ad hoc sessions to get things done within the same week.
Okay. And the elections are coming up here in April, and the new committee members would join when?
Early May.
Early May. So we have about 4 more meetings. So yeah, I like the idea to keep it as is, and then for the new members coming in, find a time that works for the most people, most committee members then.
All right, there's the call. Hold for election. Anybody disagree? Okay. All right, that is it from myself. Again, as the secretary, thanks so much for letting me lead the meeting here.
Thank you for taking over because I was in the car earlier. I couldn't. Thank you.
No trouble. Open forum, since we have a few minutes here. I don't need to keep you for 5 minutes, but would love to hear from the committee members or anybody else if you have something specific.
I do, but I want to wait if anyone else has something. I want to hold the space also for other topics. Bernard.
Yes, just clarity. I just need to be sure. Has the meeting been moved to Tuesday, or for now, we keep it Thursday? We keep it. Okay. Thank you.
We keep it on Thursday as is. Everything stays the same. Sebastian and I are going to Builderfest in a little more than a week. 2 weeks, we will have our presentation at Builderfest about the paid open source model. So it would be good to align on what we want to present. We have the abstract, we have the title for the presentation, but we don't actually have the presentation yet. And with the changes we're discussing in the paid open source model, the programs, moving them to Intersect, giving them away to others, I just thought it would be good to talk about what to present and build that out so that it aligns with the strategic direction that we want to go. And I have thoughts, but I wanted to pause here and see what everyone else is thinking. What should we present? So one option is the model as we conceived it, our ideas with here are all the problems in open source without funding. Let's build the model where we fund the gaps through the treasury and create a positive flywheel. Another option is we share our experience from implementing it over the last 1.5 years, 2 years, and where we are today and what the pain points are that we experienced.
Yeah, I don't need to be a thought leader here, nor do I want to poison committee member thoughts. But I would say if there was a high level overview, maybe a quick touch on pain points because those are relevant in implementing such a program. And then I would give a call out in this case to the maintainer retainer program, the tooling sustainability program, and we can celebrate, maybe close it out, celebrating the developer advocate program, which the larger party we'll talk about more next week is definitely planned for the summit. But kind of some beginning, middle, end stuff. We could go from worst to best, or we could go from, hey, here's something that we've almost got fully launched, which is the maintainer retainer. Tooling, I think it's really aligned for Builderfest. If you're building something, we'd love to know about it. But more specifically, we may be offering some ways to stay in compliance or stay up to date with the upcoming transitions of Cardano itself. And again, developer advocates here to help, but that's just some thoughts from me.
Thank you, Tex. I would suggest we set up a time to work out an agenda for our talk, Sebastian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else interested, please ping us on Discord. We'll include you. All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just real quick, I wanted to answer Mark, who had put a question in the chat. All OSC funding is coming from the Treasury at this point. We have not implemented any type of venture capital funding into our program as of yet. Right now, we are trying to get things working and up off the ground. Looks like we may be paring down to make sure that we can deliver on the core programs. And then as that continues to expand and as the model is, let's say, adapted based on practice, we can start to look at whether or not getting some venture capitalists into the picture is relevant, or rather it fits within Intersect's business model as well. So although this is a committee and community decisions, it does still funnel up to Intersect and what they can do as a business. So right now, yes, it is all Treasury funded is the quick answer there. You're on mute there, Georg.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Then I move to close the meeting.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.